Hybrid games are a game that fits into more than one game genre. These can be any two game genres, or even more than two. They typically lean more into one genre than they do another. However, in some cases they may be equal parts of multiple different genres. In this video, I will be going through the examples I've provided for other genres which are hybrids. Firstly is Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation is a hybrid between an action game and an adventure game. This is because, along with the main objective being the forefront, making it an action game, and the constant threat of the alien, it does feature adventure mechanics of being able to explore the space station to any of your accessible levels once you reach a certain point. This allows you to go back and collect stuff, with new areas opening up as you progress more. Another example of a hybrid game is Cluster Truck. Cluster Truck is a hybrid between an action game and a platformer. This is because, along with the fast-paced nature of the game centers around you using your jumps and your abilities in order to get on top of the trucks while they are moving. Another game that fits into this pair of genres is Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge is also a platformer and action game. While the story is a very centric point of Mirror's Edge, the movement is what makes up the core of its gameplay. So although it is an action game for its large amount of focus upon its story, it is a platformer because movement is a central mechanic in it. A game where I brought up how it was a hybrid game in its own video was Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is a hybrid of the RPG mechanics that are central to the Fallout franchise along with FPS mechanics. While the prior two entries, Fallout 3 and New Vegas, both contained FPS features, they weren't as heavily FPS as Fallout 4 was. Fallout 4 also slightly simplified its RPG mechanics, however, is mainly an RPG with FPS being one of its hybrid genres. Fallout could also be classed as an adventure game with the large open world that it has. Skyrim fits into a similar category of this, with Skyrim having the end goal of defeating Alduin and many main quests. However, it is easy for a player in both of these games to get sidetracked with the side quests. Another game that's a hybrid with a shooter is Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein is both shooter and a game that falls into the action genre. This is because of the game's fast-paced nature. The second game and Wolfenstein Youngblood could also be considered adventure games because of your ability to revisit these locations to explore them and look for areas and secrets you may have missed out on your first time through. Another example of a hybrid game is Outriders. Outriders is both third-person shooter and action, with its plot being very action-centric. Another game that's a hybrid of two genres is Resident Evil Village. Whilst it does feature many features of an action game, which was the genre that I labelled it as, it does also feature features of an adventure game, with you being able to explore a wide number of locations, even in the constrained area you're given. You're able to return to some prior locations, but not all of them, and able to access new areas in these prior locations after finishing certain parts of the game. Finally, Worms WMD is a hybrid between a turn-based tactics and a shooter game, with the weapons having to be angled and fired at a certain power in order to hit the enemy. This was the final entry into my game genres series. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, click on the link in the description below to enter the playlist of all the other entries into the series. I hope to see you in another one of the videos. and have a good one.